Welcome to my new series, where I learn how to cook real Korean food from home. Oh, it's so spicy! In hopes I can satisfy guests with my recipe.
Wow!
This is Art's cookbook. Recipe number 4. Kimchi mandu. Since I'm making dumplings at home, I finally have an excuse to convince my wife to buy a bamboo steamer. But I have to travel to Bangsan Market to get
The
one.
cheapest one online is $40, and then here is $18.
I think in Korea there's a common misconception that everything is cheaper online. That's not true at all. Actually, it's much cheaper to actually shop outside and actually go to markets and buy the stuff that you need. I mean, this is like a $22 difference. That's a huge difference. Now that I finally got the excuse to buy this so my wife doesn't get angry, I need to wash it first. I'm not entirely sure how to do that, but I'm gonna give it a try. In case you decide to buy one of these steamers, you should know that you need to scrub the entire surface with only water. Don't use any dish soap because it can potentially absorb it. Boil, rinse, and repeat until there's no more dirty water inside the pan. Next, I headed to my local Mangwon market to get some fresh ingredients and to do a little bit of espionage. I usually always immediately eat it on the street as I'm walking after I buy it from him. Wow, my mouth is watering. He didn't want to share anything with me. All he said was, the inside must be delicious. We have glass noodle, green onion, chives. Okay, regular onion, right? Yep, regular onion. He uses pepper for sure. 두부 있어. There's something about his pepper, it's really delicious. You know what this pepper tastes like? Look, I might be crazy, but it kind of tastes like this type of pepper, you know? I don't know why I'm focusing so much on the pepper, but it's such a distinct characteristic of the taste of this mandu that I really like. Now that I have everything that I need at my disposal, it is time for me to cook my very first mandu. So I actually ended up following Mr. Peck's recipe again because I think he does a really good job at simplifying the process, and it kind of helps me understand a little bit about the dish that I'm actually cooking. I'm actually really excited but a little bit nervous because I want to make really pretty dumplings. It's my first mandu. Look at that. Wow, I made that. It's my first mandu! It's wow! I don't know why, but that was really fun to do. Okay, I have about 15 seconds left before this is done. Honestly, I don't really care what they look like. The appearance I will work on later on, but I have two concerns. One is that they fell apart, and two is that they don't taste good, because that's the most important part, is the taste. Okay. Whoa! Holy shit! Wow, that looks awesome! Oh, I put too much gochugaru. Oh, it's so spicy. Other than the spiciness, the taste is actually pretty good. Wow. I think this is the first time I made something for the first time, and I'm actually really satisfied with the taste. Wow. More. But I don't know how to make this better. This is pretty good. If you've never made dumplings before, Mr. Peck's recipe is great. That was delicious. Wow. So good. I did more research on different recipes, and most of them are quite the same. Therefore, I believe that whatever you put in the kimchi mandu mix is more of a personal preference. For example, most recipes ask for a 70-30 mix of pork and fat, but if you want it a bit healthier, 80-20 works fine. I tried it and it worked great. Also, I didn't want tofu, but I definitely wanted 30 grams of minced onion and pepper, 50 grams of kimchi juice since I squeezed the kimchi before cutting it, 33% less chives, and 25% less gochugaru in comparison to Mr. Peck's recipe. Really, this is just a personal preference. I can't confidently say that mine is better than Mr. Peck's. But the one thing that must remain constant is the kimchi has to be sour for a better taste, especially if it's accompanied by pork. And lastly, I let my mix marinate in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes before I put it in the mandu wraps. But this is where the story takes a dark turn. Online, I found the most beautiful dumpling shape, like love at first sight. I knew that I had to have her, but part of me knew that I never could. My second attempt. I don't like it. I don't like it. That's not it. That's just not it. Oh God, I'm so pissed off. Fucking ridiculous. I need a break. I need a fucking break. I have no expectations from life, or do I have any expectations of people? But I do have expectations of self, and self only demands perfection. I feel so defeated. Like I feel all my energy is completely gone. I feel like I ran a marathon or something. You know what I mean? Like my whole.
Making mandu feels like marathon. Sorry.
That's actually a good title idea.
Why it feels like marathon?
Because I'm a perfectionist. Even if there's the smallest mistake in the detail and the appearance, it freaks me out. Like it really gives me so much stress.
But yesterday it was great, no?
Yeah, because it was a simple one. I feel like I'm giving up. I feel like I'm quitting. And I'm doing something easy instead of doing something hard.
But it's just impossible. It's just you
I
cannot do it.
I don't like that word. I don't like impossible.
You're not able to do that.
Yet.
Yet.
Mandu, out of all the things, Mandu is the one that's killing me right now. With only a few hours left, I had to accept my defeat. So I prepped 23 Mandu, packed my bags, and headed over to the house of the people for whom I will be cooking for today. Meet Bart and Huya. They were the first genuine relationships that I have made here in Korea over 4 years ago. And since it is also New Year's, maybe that is why I felt so much pressure to make a delicious mandu.
Don't you think it's so cute? It's like ongdongis.
Ongdongis?
Like a kind of wrinkle ongdongis. You know?
I made 23 since it's 2023. So we're gonna eat 23 mandus.
My mom and me is like a big fan of mandu, and we always like make mandu together.
When I lived in Angel, was back in 2014. I was living in a small room. I was really afraid to cook something, so when I went to the Korean supermarket, I didn't understand shit of what was there, you know. But the only thing I knew was mandu, because that's what I first ate when I came here. So I always bought those deep freeze mandus, fried them in the pan, and then with ramyun.
Okay, here is your mandu.
Wow!
여기요.
Oh my god, looks perfect.
Cheers.
Happy
Let's
New
stick
Year.
it. Cheers again.
Huh?
You feel that?
It's quite spicy.
The worst mukbanger in the world. I have no clue what to say about food.
Is it too
맛있어.
spicy though?
Oh,
No,
아니,
not
아니,
at all.
it's perfect,
Not at all.
perfect. 또 진짜 맛있어. I don't know how to explain like the taste or something, but it's just the balance is perfect.
I'm hot.
And it's hot, but I'm Korean, so I can eat hot food very well, and I feel I really love the sourness of kimchi, and that's like so perfect. So it's just 그냥 like it's like a mandu. This is like definitely Korean mandu. I think it's better than my mom's.
It's actually so good that I don't want soy sauce.
Oh.
Gangjang. Usually mandu is quite boring, right? So you want to dip it in the gangjang sauce.
So where did you get the kimchi? Because kimchi is really good.
Honestly, 비비고.
아 비비고 김치.
Because it's sour.
It's a little sour.
그니까 the
But
sour
Not too
taste.
sour.
Not too sour,
It's
but
like
sour
a good
enough.
the good kimchi sour. Yes.
Rock, paper, scissors. Huh? You want?
You don't even like mandu. Thank you.
23rd mandu.
Thank you for making amazing mandu.
With the story coming to an end, I would like to wish you all a happy new year. First twerk of the year.
First time of 2023.
It looks like I'm gonna have to come back to this chapter one day to learn how to make really beautiful dumplings. But for now, I'm gonna have to let it go. Art's note. Like I always say, perfectionism is the death of creativity. Like a prison that is built around a mirror maze, once a prisoner, it is almost impossible to escape. A reminder that I must keep to self.